Hey, kia ora everybody. So I am coming back to you to kōrero on my third wero, and the third wero is around sales, and the kaupapa is on the Ka Hao program through Te Whare Hoka Hoka, Ka Hao i Te Ao. So to help with that was to nominate some people, and it's really good to say that I know some familiar names that have already come home, come in and initiated that for themselves. So I'm just like gonna tono and say that yeah, they heard that through the grapevine, and I was part of that vine. But in saying that, sales is a real uncomfortable position for me in terms of how I approach sales. For example, if we backtrack it back into one of my first roles, when I sold Tupperware as a young mum, as an evening role, and the ironing board would come out, I would stand in front of that ironing board, packing and prepping it, and present to my brother, who was a sales rep for Ripco, and he would feed into how he'd do that because he was always selling. So he's been a hustler for all his life. We had a dairy, and he would sell Happy Aid in front of the shop and not give change back. So he was a born natural. What I noticed from that period of time, a dominant family member came in and would do the sales, and I would come around and wrap it up with the house, so the details, the operational side. And even when we had pocket money and we had the flea markets every Saturday in Whangarei, my mum would be the baker. So that started on Wednesday when she would prep all the biscuit mix. Thursday after school, I had to roll and prep all the peanut brownies, the coconut ruffs, the chocolate chips, and the sultanas. And Friday, I would come home from that and bake it while my brothers collected the watercress, harvested the watercress, and mum would start on all the bread, so the takako, the fried bread, and the yeast bread. And Saturday morning, it was a time when we would go together with our tuku papa. We would go into town, my brothers and I. Mum got to stop and sleep because she would work right till we left. And we were really fortunate that the quality and the product was well known, that we knew we would only be there for a short time, so probably a lot of it was sold before the doors opened eventually. And then we were home, and we had always had spending money, so we always had to hustle. We always knew how to earn it. That was embedded into us quite early. But as a family unit, we did it as a group, and that was the comfort that I was in. Nervous in the first approach when nobody would buy, so I always had that nobody wants this product. But with and still to this day, our mother is known for her baking. It's an easy is Auntie Mari going to do the spongy cakes? There's a marae hui, do we get the cakes? And so forth. So this is an easy sale for Ka Hao i Te Ao. For me to sell that, I kind of demonstrate that. So everything that we're sharing, I demonstrate in terms of, and they go, how did you learn that? Where did you get that from? And then tell the story. Telling the story gives the buy-in and the curiosity. I've also noticed that in a pilot project that I'm currently working on for a client is the approach. The approach to it. It's traditionally been done one way, and now I'm applying it onto a e-platform, and how do we approach that and sell that? And so the engagement is completely different to what they've normally been aware of. So the soft sell, they can ring me, can they talk to me, and I can pitch it. I know it back to front. The research, the rangaho, the practice, the trialing, feel it, taste it, love it, can talk about it really openly. Falls back into actually everything that I do. Te Hutawa's challenge, the whittle that we just had in terms of the event, again, That was a hard sell. It was a hard sell because I had a lot of traditional practices to it. It meant that I had to trial it, pilot it, and now review what that looks like going forward. And as I've had the audio book for Tim Ferriss, it is about outsourcing a lot of that, and using going through the context of deal, which is the lot that I really resonated with in terms of sales, and that was the definition, the elimination, automation, and liberation, that I will be applying to next year's event going forward. So sales in terms of Ka Hao, that's what I've learned. It's given me more confidence in what I've been feeling intuitively to practice online. Ka Hao e te ao with te whare hoka hoka is a natural gravitation to e-commerce because it's of like-minded, of our whānau, for our whānau here in Aotearoa, reaching the world. So that is my contribution to our third whittle. Kia ora.